This conference will now be recorded.
Item B, invocation. Let us pray. Dear Lord, bless us as we gather here today to conduct business that will affect the citizens of the Rio Grande Valley. Give us the clarity of mind to act in their best interest and not ours. We ask that you bless our speakers and that you would bless our time here today. May we grasp those things that you want us to understand, and may our actions and our attitudes please you this day. We pray this in your holy name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So item number 2, consideration and action to approve meeting minutes of August 30, 2023.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion and second, any discussion? If there's none, all those in favor? Against? Motion passes. Item number 3, public comment.
No public comment were received.
Thank you. Let's go to item number 4, administration. Manuel Cruz.
Yes, sir. Under administration, item A, consideration and action to approve award of landscaping services contract. Mr. Armando Perez will present.
Good afternoon. This is a contract that will be for 1 year with the option to renew 4-year renewals for lawn and landscaping services to South Texas Landscaping, Irrigation, and Pest Control. The lawn and landscaping services will be for the LRGVDC locations, including Wasaco, Harlingen, and Edinburgh. The vendor was selected through a solicitation process, and we ask for approval.
Motion second, any further discussion?
Thank you.
Not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion passes.
Next item is item B under executive report. Just want to report, did receive 4 new staff that came on board. As you can see, Mr. Peña, Mr. Garcia, Mr. Lopez were hired through Valley Metro, and then Ms. Gonzalez, our AAA department. And so at this time, Mr. President, I conclude my report so I can give the opportunity to all the departments so they can do their reports on their programs.
Thank you. Let's go to item 5, department reports. Community and Economic Development, Melissa Gonzalez.
Good afternoon, everybody. Today I actually have an action item. I'm asking for your approval for vice chairman for the RERAC committee. If you see on your agenda that it did say for chairman and vice chairman, the chairman has declined the position. So we will be opening up that again for nominations on the month of November. But today I'm asking for approval for vice chairman, Commissioner Ernie Garcia from Willacy County for the RERAC.
The motion is second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion passes.
Thank you. And the only thing I want to inform the board is that we will be hosting public meetings for the update of our comprehensive economic development strategies, October 24th in Hidalgo County here at the Ken Jones Conference Room, on October 25th at the Cameron County Annex Building, Commissioner David's area, the conference room, and then October 26th in Willacy County at the Raymondville EDC facility. All of them start at 10 a.m. and we will get flyers out to everybody probably the first week in October. So that's all I have for today. Thank you.
Thank you. Item C, public safety.
Sorry, Mr. President. Item B, Health and Human Services.
Oh, I
Yes.
skipped. I'm sorry. I'm trying to go faster than we are. Item B, Health and Human Services. Thank you. I'm sorry, Margarita.
Good
Margarita Lopez.
afternoon. Yes, thank you for your time today. I do not have any action items. However, I do think it's a wonderful opportunity to say thank you because through your support and all the recommendations that you have considered for me. I'm going to be specific and say that in the year and a half that I've been here, you've all approved 20 action items. As you know, we just submitted our area plan for the state's approval. We still have not received that. However, while analyzing that data, we learned that during the last 3 to 4 years, up to where the pandemic ended, we helped or assisted over more or less 5,000 people. I want you to know that in a year and a half, we have already helped 7,371, which tells you that our outreach activities and our services are going further than we have seen in the past 5 years. And that is all with your support and your consideration to approve our action items. I also want to say thank you to Mission Housing Authority, City of Rio Hondo, City of La Jolla, City of Primera, and City of Los Fresnos for your support, being a subrecipient, and also helping our aging population. Our vendor contractor is now up to 103, and you made that happen with your consideration and approvals. I also want to provide an update on the community development block grants. We have received $20,000 from Harlingen, and we were able to help 66 clients. We were able to help 33 with $8,000 that we received from Edinburgh. We received another 8,000 from McAllen and assisted 26 clients. We helped 22 at FAR with $7,500 that we received, and Mission with $3,000, we were able to extend help to 9 other clients. We have exhausted every single one of those dollars. We did not leave anything on the table, and we finished before time. We also went through several audits, and we have not received any findings or wrongdoings through the audits of these community development grants. And so we're really proud of that as well. And last but not least, our ADRC program. A year and a half, we had a housing navigator, 1 special initiative customer service rep, and we had 1 additional customer service. Today, our ADRC program is fully staffed. We have a case manager to provide respite services or assistance with respite services. We have a case manager too that provides benefit counseling services to anyone 59 and below. Our housing navigator has extended his relationships and collaborations with housing authorities and anyone that works with affordable housing. And we're working really hard with hospitals and rehab centers to ensure that we don't have homeless older adults here in the Valley. We're trying our best. We also hosted in this past year and a half 8 clinics, 1 conference, 1 veteran fair, and we're working hard for the next veteran fair that you know will happen in November. So again, no action item, but thank you for all of your support. We've been able to do all of this coming out of the pandemic. So if you have any questions, you do have my numbers, like I always submit. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
During summer, do we do any surveys for the elderly, like studies relating to heat wave with people who have adequate air conditioning fans? Do we do any outreach there?
So what we did is through our IRNAs, our Information Referral Assistance team, once everyone calls in for services, we do ask if they have any additional needs. When we conducted our clinics and our outreach activities, we always asked if there was anything else needed. And for the most part, we did not receive any request for air conditioning or fans this time. What people were asking for were more safety items like flashlights, consumables, and our clinics were tailored to those needs. We are working with bigger companies, pharmaceuticals. They have a larger amount of dollars that they can contribute when they become sponsors to see how much we can get from them for next year. But during this year, you know how we planned a year before, we were able to provide the services for what everyone needed and had related that they needed. But this year, we did not get a high demand for those. It's curious, but we did it.
Yeah, and on the same notes,
Yeah.
I guess, I know the heat wave was hotter than
It was
usual. I mean,
brutal.
some were looking for cooling, cooling stations, or some of them don't have no air circulation, whatever. So you didn't get any response to that, or
We did not
ask.
get any special requests for that. not this time around. I'm going to be very transparent with you and let you know that what I learned in my data analysis is that years ago, we did provide air conditioners and we did provide fans. And then I don't know why we had stopped that. I don't know if it was that a special request was not submitted or the need was not presented, but we did look into that for this upcoming year, fiscal year. And like I said before, we're looking at different sponsors. We've been working very closely with Walmart and Home Depot, and we are looking forward to when they open that window for us to request um, items that we can get those, and also submitting a special request to the state. But we did not get any special demand on that. We would have made it happen. However, during the Veterans Fest, we did give out fans. How many fans did we give out? Heaters. It was fans or heaters? It was heaters. We did provide 60, 65 heaters because of how cold it was then. But we'll work on that one.
That's heaters and blankets as
And
well.
we did blankets. Yes,
For the veterans.
yes, we were able to help with the code, but we do need to work on those fans. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you
the
all.
report. Yes. Public safety?
Yes, public safety under criminal justice and homeland security, Mr. Cesar Merla will present.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. President, Commissioners, Cesar Mano for Homeland Security and Criminal Justice. Two action items on the docket today. First one, consideration and action to approve the CJAC Criminal Justice Advisory Committee recommendation for a new committee member. This is Chief Mark Bettis from the city of Alton. There is his bio, but we did have the elections during our last CJAC meeting, and per vote, they did select the Mr. Bettis to be one of the members, pending your consideration and action.
There's a motion second. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion passes.
Thank you. And secondly, consideration and action to approve CJAC recommendation of the appointment of new committee member Rosa Hernandez, who is a nurse manager at Dr. Hospital Renaissance, so she fills the medical side of the CJAC committee. So again, a good balance between all members in Hidalgo County. And there is her bio as well.
Motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion passes.
Thank you very much. And as included with the report, one more slide, please. Criminal justice side has been very busy. We did go to the Texas Association of Regional Councils during this past go around, their semi-annual conference, and brought back some valuable information to the CJAC committee. And then we have our CJAC committee that met in September. Next slide, please. Homeland security side, we've been a little more busy. There has been a lot of uptake, especially with the border crossings and a lot of the issues that are pertaining to cybersecurity. So we're continuing to move across that pendulum and continuing to educate not just our regional partners and those that we work with, but also go to other events that we're invited to. If you can go to the next slide, please. So these are some of the events that we've been invited to, from left to right or right to left, however you're seeing it. The staff hosted the Thyroid SPR session 1, that was a couple of weeks ago, with the next session happening tomorrow in this very room. In the middle, we have the Texas Department of Public Safety hosted that is the McAllen Emergency Management Communications presentation that we were invited to increase communication throughout primarily in Hidalgo County, but also to how can we potentially expand that to the rest of the RGV. And last but not least, we did attend the mass casualty attack workshop. That is one workshop that was done, and there's going to be several others coming up, and you have participation from all jurisdictions, not just Hidalgo County. So there'll be more coming up, and as they come up, I will ensure to pass it to everybody to make sure you can attend if you can. And I think there's one more slide coming up. Yes, so thank you. This is our first Ready RGV conference. It does say save the date out there, just kind of hard to see. The date is May 9 and 10, and this will be taking place at South Padre Island. This is really the first week or first week ish of May and leading into Mother's Day. And the goal is to provide continuing education credits for law enforcement, first responders, firefighters, educators, and those in the mental health field. So once again, more information to follow. The first planning session will take place October 19th, 2023, both in person and virtual. And this is what's coming up. So more information to follow, but I just want to provide this to you all. Other than that, I have nothing else pending your questions.
Thank you.
Thanks.
The next item is under Public Safety Regional Police Academy Program action items is number 3, consideration and action to approve revisions of the LRGV Academy instructor contract for professional services. And this is a request coming from the Regional Police Academy Advisory Committee, which convened on June of 2023 to review and revise the LRGVDC Academy instructor contract. This is a necessary document that we have in place, and we tend to update it with the most recent information for the next round of the biennium under the Office of the Governor, Criminal Justice Division, Regional Police Academy grant. And so we did provide you with the new version and the old document, so you can see the changes that were made. I will note that for the most part, the first 2 pages is the recommendation that was made, or 2.5 pages, recommendations that were made by the advisory committee. But on page 3, just as a point of clarity, we did provide under staff information that was needed based on legal review. And so we just added a couple of more pages to it, which they're standard statements. For one, under page 4, we did update the termination and servability. And so we typically do not continue the contracts. The prior statement said it was a continuing contract, automatic renewal. As you know, we run the police academy on a biennium every 2 years grant, and so these contracts must end at that precise time. We can't continue automatic renewals, and so every 2 years we'll review the document pursuant to any changes that the Office of the Governor, Criminal Justice might have, and update them accordingly. And we did add the other items that you see, item 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 that were previously not listed. And again, this is for contracting services that we do contract with, subject matter experts, law enforcement professionals to conduct or train our police academy or cadets. These are contractors. They're police officers from the different agencies throughout the 3-county area, and even private. But we do contract with they're for specialized training courses, because even if we would have had an instructor in-house, they would not have all the qualifications needed to take on the 720-hour police academy curriculum. And so there's certain specific modules, such as the automotive driving, emergency driving course, that an instructor can't teach. It has to be a specialized trained officer through DPS or various channels that has that certification for us to be able to teach that class. And so that's where this contract comes about. Typically, they are already working with another entity, but the one thing that we make it known, and they're not allowed to do is double dipping. And so if they are under contract with us, it's typically because they're instructing the night academy. And so if they're on duty, they cannot do both. They,
How do we vet them? How do we vet? Is there a vetting process to make sure, how do we make sure they're qualified in or background check or whatever?
yes, staff has, as you can see, some of the requirements for these SMEs is to submit certain documentation of their certification, and we verify it with the T code database to make sure it's the latest and current information certification that's required.
Elaborate on the double duty. Well, if you say this is just for night class, because if they're
Prim-
working for a
yes.
police department except for the same kind, or how do you all
Well,
vet
primarily,
that, or how does that work? I mean, because there might be double dipping.
yes. Well, I mean, we obviously we try to address or try to vet as thorough as possible. Uh, but I mean, we rely on them to make sure that they're not on duty. And again, like I said, this is the night classes. We do have day classes. The day classes are pretty much covered with a interlocal agreement that we have with, for example, Mission and City of Edinburgh, which they have a training division, which they have assigned officers, instructors that they're getting paid by the city, but they do benefit because we do provide some free spots and sponsorships for some cadets. That comes along with the partnership that we have. Now, when you're talking about the evening classes, obviously, we have two, the day and night. The night specifically takes longer, about 9 months to complete, because most of these cadets, obviously, they have jobs during the day and they go at night. And so, from time to time, we run out of officers or partnerships with officers or agencies because they're on duty. And so people that are off duty are the ones we contract with. And so we rely on them to make sure that is the case, if they're not on duty. And obviously if they're assigned to take on this responsibility in the evening with us, there's going to be communication in place with the police chief and certain, lieutenants, sergeants, to make sure that, they are indeed off duty and not on the clock with the city.
So I mean, not to repeat Mayor Dorney's question, but so who vets them?
We do internally staff. We prior to signing the contract, they submit the information, and we use that information to verify it under the T code database, which we have strict access to it. That's how we verify the credentials to make sure they're eligible to teach that course.
Mr. Cruz, if I may, Ernie Garcia from Willis County. I'm retired state police officer, 36 years. A lot of the questions that y'all were asking about, whether they're double dipping or not, a lot of that has to do with the agency that they work for, right? Everything is run through TCO. They have to provide a CV, curriculum vitae, of what they have. And the most important thing is that every class has to be approved through TCO. So when you submit that, it's going to have the instructor's name, the course, the curriculum has to be approved. If not, they're going to kick it back. So there's several fail safes in there. The biggest one is whether or not they're double dipping, but that's going to be on the officer.
Yep.
Their supervisor will let them know that. Now then, police officers are on call 24/7. Can they be called to have to leave? They may have to leave, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's an incident that happens, obviously they're going to all hands on deck, and they're going to postpone or freeze the class and then continue when they return. So,
But it is common to get experts in a certain field, accident reconstruction, whatever it may be, courtroom security. So it's important.
Yeah, and I would say, because most of the larger departments have their own training centers and certification centers. I don't know if we hire them from there, instructors from there, or where do we get our bulk of our instructors from? Like if you're an instructor in McAllen Police Department, do you work over here? Is that common or not?
it's a possibility. It's up to them. It depends on the criteria or the certification they have. If it's firearms, I mean, not everybody has. I mean, they're qualified, but are not necessarily trained or certified to teach it. And so there's certain specific officers that are qualified, and those are the ones that we reach out to so they can contract with us, or vice versa.
Could you give us a list next time of all the departments that have their own training, their own certification programs?
we'll look into it. I mean, we're talking about multi
There's,
disciplines or law enforcement agencies throughout the region. Uh, we will try to do that.
they're called training providers, and they're certified through TICO, and they have their own agenda, their own board, their own advisory committee. They all have to have an advisory committee. So there is a lot of them. I know Brownsville is one. I don't think Harlingen has one. I'm just shooting off the cuff. Hidalgo County, Cameron County, Williston County does not have anything. And then the bigger PDs have that. But it's a task to do what you're doing, and that advisory committee, everything has to run through there. All the curriculum, all the lesson plans, all that. So I would imagine there's a handful in the valley, right?
Yes,
10 or
sir.
12?
Yeah, we're one of the feeder training facilities for the smaller departments that don't have their own.
And there's a total of 5 academies. We are the only regional academy that reaches out to all 3 counties. And so that's a unique situation that we're in, which is good. But we do rely on, for example, Mission is a great partner. Edinburgh is a great partner. At one point in time, we continue to have TSTC as a site. And we're looking to expand to include Harlingen and maybe possibly go into Cameron County, Brownsville area, depending on the circumstances. But I can tell you that in any given year, we have about anywhere between 35 to 40 uh, folks contracted to teach the various, there's 17 modules in the curriculum, about 40 or 17 chapters, 42 modules in the curriculum that they have to teach. And some require, specific certification, and that's where these contracts come into play.
Mr. Cruz, has the academy expanded at all to include a jail academy? I know they were trying to. Jailer academy.
All right, we don't have the capacity at this point in time. As you know, we don't have a training coordinator right now. We only have two staff that are doing multitasking with the current academies that are going on in Mission and Edinburgh, and then doing all the reporting for some of the agencies. So we don't have the capacity at this point in time. I know we've also looked into the telecommunicator certification, which is another
That's
component. But just keep in mind that any test that we take affects our overall score percentage. We have to maintain at 80
They need a pass.
and 80% with TICO under the TICO contract to be able to continue with the academy. If we fall below that, we jeopardize our license with TICO. So, depending on the specifics as far as the course, telecommunicators has a high failing rate. And so typically we don't venture into that because of that, because it'll affect our overall score. Um, yeah, there's a lot of moving parts to this.
There's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, we need a mo, no, we need a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor? Against?
Aye.
Pass. No, it was I went too fast.
And then the rest is reports. Happy to report that today the Edinburgh site is graduating as we speak. And so you can see up there, there's a couple, and some academies are about to start. We still continue with the partnership with Mission and Edinburgh, and hopefully next month, before we take a break in November, in October, we'll bring up some of other documents that we need uh, to partner, such as interlocal agreements that need to be updated, so we can, create that partnership with any other entity that might want to do that. But these are just different photos, obviously, from different events, training exercises that take place throughout the course of the academy.
Not all of the end police officers, they live in other locations or just strictly
It's a combination, but for the most part, it's a unique and great partnership that we have with Mission and Edinburgh, because we get to use their resources and they get to represent us by using our license, and it's a great partnership that we have, and so the majority of the officers I think it's a half. It's half.
So someone would be automatically, right now would be Edinburgh employees going through the
Correct.
academy.
And it
Yeah.
depends how they have it structured because Edinburgh hires them before they
Right.
join the academy, and it's contingent upon them passing the academy for them to put them on the department. And so,
But the other cadets, if they train there or whatever, eventually they're doing right along with the sector. So they like it.
yes,
They might lean and get his questions. So they're feeding to it because
correct.
they're the host.
But
Yeah,
they're also available to small departments.
yes, so the ones that go through that are not affiliated with the department,
Yeah.
they're available to secure jobs anywhere, and they have through various agencies, local, state, and federal. And we do conduct seminars and job fairs to help these individuals out to secure jobs. Yeah, that's the end of my report.
We're going to the Rio Grande Valley Emergency.
The next item is yes, sir, the Rio Grande Valley Emergency Communication District, Mr. Dennis Moreno.
Good afternoon, Board. No action items today, but I do want to highlight our GIS division. They've already working on an emergency response map that is currently being utilized by our local 911 agencies, EMS, and along with our firefighters here in Hidalgo and Willacy. Below on that graph is going to be our spatial strategic plan. We've submitted a location-based routing. It's an LBR request to Verizon Wireless in early September. This is going to force cell phones to turn on the GPS services and significantly reduce the need for transfer of 911 calls. So a lot of times what we do in the rural areas, they get caught up in the towers. So this is going to, through an FCC ruling, we're already beginning testing here in Texas, here in the Rio Grande Valley, and we're turning up that location-based routing, that LBR. That's just going to allow for our first responders to respond more accurately, especially if those people are as a moving vehicle. We're going to be able to accurately locate the need for the emergency services. So this is something we're pushing on throughout the year. So this is going to be ongoing this year and next year. So that's a good kudos what our GIS division is working on. So this is going to improve emergency service all throughout our Hidalgo and Willacy counties. In addition to that, I'll go on to our next one, which would be Community Engagement Division. We have also attended trainings in our APCO 2023 International Annual Conference in Nashville, Tennessee. We've also had an August 17th an annual school supply giveaway in Raymondville, Texas. So we try to be all around our district areas. And in addition to that, we also hosted our first annual public safety wellness seminar. This is more dispatcher TC driven. I'm glad to say we opened this up to the entire public safety. We have people from Star to Valpurias, Cameron, Willacy, and Hidalgo County, but we wanted this to be more for our TC. So we had we have about 96 telecommunicators from the Rio Grande Valley registered. 326 people attended, all public safety sector. In addition, we were fortunate to provide awards of year of commitment to our telecommunicators. We had 10, we had 20. We even had telecommunicators that have been working for 40 years in one department. We had our master ceremonies that are photos to the right, Mr. Trey Sedna from KRGV. He was our MC. And in addition to that, Mr. Cruz and our sheriff were providing awards to our telecommunicators. We opened up voting for all our police departments to submit their recognition for their TCs. And doing so, we had TC of the Year, JJ Marquez. He's from the city of Edinburgh. In addition, we also were able to honor Miss Marissa. She's from the city of Alton. We also will recognize her for the Supervisor of the Year. So these are just little things that we do to recognize the hard work that our telecommunicators do 365 days a year. In doing so, we brought wellness speakers, Mr. David Atkins. He spoke about leveling up in life book with his leveled life book. So this allows them to know there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We can't always be complacent in the day-to-day activities. They're always listening and part of tragic events when people call 911. So they gave these de-stressor tips to our telecommunicators and our public safety abroad. In addition, we had Mr. Raul Rivas. He's a trauma behind the badge. He was one of our first responders for the Pulse nightclub. In doing so, he recognized through our event that even the incident in Pulse nightclub, nobody went back to telecommunicators that heard those gunshots, people dying, getting killed. They need that mental health assistance as well. Just because they're behind the phone and they're not seeing it directly as our first responders, we want to point out that everybody involved, even if it was just outside, were impacted by those incidents. So we're just trying to recognize the wellness for all our public safety personnel. And in addition, our last one is going to be we flew a state flag at the state capitol. Our TC of the year is now going to be known as in honor of Sandra Coronado, who was killed by a drunk driver on December 9th in 2018 in the morning on her way to her shift at the TC at the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office. So our TC of the year is now going to be known as the Sandra Coronado Award. So we hope to announce this information for our next year. We're going to get more participations involved from all our cities, and we hope to make this a 2-day event, just more resources for our telecommunicators and our public safety abroad. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer.
I will add that just want to thank the City of McAllen Fire Department, City of McAllen Fire Department, and the Police Department, great partners for letting us use their venue. And so very appreciative of that. And, it was quite an event. We had, close to 400 people attend. Who would have known, right? And this could not have done or been possible without the support of this board. And I think the mayor at the time, Mayor Darling was the president, that we ventured into separating from the state 911 program to become a district. And so this is just one of many, many good events that we're allowed to have for our telecommunicators and our regional partners in the area. And so this picture up here, that's, I cried on, when we presented the award because, I mean, it was an unfortunate event that happened to one of our telecommunicators on her way to work on a Sunday morning that got broadsided, hit by a drunk driver, and killed on her way to work on a Sunday. And so, these are our unsung heroes that are behind closed doors, that are never considered, talked to, or seen. And so that's the lifeline of police departments, fire departments, the community, everybody. And so it's about time that we took that initiative to recognize them and for the great work that they do, 24/7 every year. So thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Transportation Valley Metro, Tom Logan.
Good afternoon, honorable board members. We do have an action item, consideration and action to approve procurement of transportation revenue vehicles for Valley Metro. A staff requests board approval to purchase transportation vehicles. These vehicles will be introduced into our fleet for expansion services. Purchase of those vehicles are being made through TxDOT and FDA grants at 100%. There's no local match required. Thank you.
Motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion passes.
Valley Metro status report. I just want to mention that we closed our fiscal year 2023 with 631,000 riders, which is a 47% increase from previous year. Previous year we had 430,000. So we're heading in the right direction. Pre-pandemic we were over 800,000, but considering that we introduced fares this past year, we're doing really good. Thank you.
Thank you. Rio Grande Valley MPO status report, Andrew Cannon.
Everybody's snickering. I'm not sure what to make of that. How's it going, man? Commissioner. Not a lot to talk about. I mean, last month, TxDOT did UTP. I know we've been making the rounds visiting with all the local governments. We appreciate that. $142 billion, 9,000 projects. Really impactful to the area. I think most of you have heard the Swan song since before the merger. We went from about $500 million in funding for the area. Now we're más o menos 3.5 billion in that area. A lot of significant projects moving forward. A couple that didn't get picked up that we wish had. East Loop, unfortunately, was overlooked in Cameron County. I know we're still working with Federal Highways on functional classification, but that's a really, really, really important project for us and for the region. IBTC got fully funded. So that's fantastic for that. That's moving forward. We got some money on Nolana, some money for development for the I-69 connector. Of course, I-69C, that project to be, I think in the next year and a half, will be letting to continue the interstate facility all the way to the county line. Most of 77 is all let, cleared, ready to go. I think we have 3 portions. Is that right, Commissioner? We have 3 portions yet that we're trying to work to get fully funded to make the connectivity all the way up to Kennedy County. But I see that on a short horizon to get taken care of. So it's really been nothing but really good news for everything in the way of transportation. You know, it's amazing how many more discussions you have when you have money. The discussions are always easier when I don't have money, because it's always nice to just, you know, it's really short-lived. No, we can't fund that. We don't have anything. Now it's a whole different ballpark. But it's great. We're working on a revision to our 4-year plan that'll be brought to the board next month for consideration. Next month for consideration also, staff has gone through the process, and our RTAP, our Regional Transit, not RTAP, BPAC, sorry, got the 2 confused, our Bike Ped Advisory Committee went through process with all the local governments on the TASA funding, the $9 million. So we'll be coming back in October to get that approved on the projects that were selected. I think we have all of the funding for the planning. All those projects, staff request is going to be to fund those, we're hopeful. And we've got some really good projects on the horizon with that. So that's $9 million in addition. We'll be coming back next month. So things are good in the way of transportation right now. So if you need anything, let Judge Trevino know. I'm sure he'll let me know. And we'll go from there. But I'd be glad to answer any questions I can.
I put my glasses to see if you had sunglasses, but you come from the sun, so you're looking good too, because I couldn't see your eyes.
No. They're getting there. They're getting there.
Okay.
Come on, boss. I would never wear sunglasses up here. It's bad enough I get away with the hat. So it's, which actually, real quick, I know you're wrapping up, but for the first time in 55 years, well, not 55. I mean, I didn't start wearing a hat till I was like 11, but so 45 years of my life in El Paso, Texas, of all places, I got asked to take off my hat in a restaurant. Went there to have dinner with Caroline Mays from TxDOT, my counterpart, Eduardo Calvo from the El Paso MPO, very nice restaurant in downtown El Paso. Walked in, Eduardo was waiting for us at the bar having a Diet Coke. And when I got there, gentleman behind the bar, all of about this tall, looked at me and said, "You're going to have to remove your hat, sir." I just looked at him and was like, "Yeah, you keep on having a nice day." And he looked at me and said, "No, I'm sorry, we have a dress code." I said, "There's a big bar between the two of us. It's all right." It's, you know, they wouldn't give me a seat until I removed my hat because they had a dress code. So they brought out one of those really nice purse stands that the ladies use, and I stuck my hat on it. And never in Texas have I been asked to remove my hat before. So I just thought I'd share that. So. No, it was, it wasn't there. Well, King's Inn is here. Well, then I know where not to go.
There you go.
No. This is, come on. So I haven't even been asked to remove my hat from the governor's office when I've been there.
I would quit.
Wow. I wish Cameron County was going to get more money.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We can. We can discuss that in new or unfinished business. New or unfinished business. Jim?
Common courtesy, Texas common courtesy.
These rounds, I haven't been asked by
Old,
anybody.
old.
Everyone. Well, Luis, yes, ma'am. That we do or don't? Oh, that we do. Okay, thank you. Fair, fair. I appreciate it. I was gonna say.
Where are you going to change that? That's not even in the agenda.
That and he rides his horse to work.
Any new or unfinished business?
So just,
Just a quick comment, Manny and I were at the Sarge annual meeting.
make sure.
Manny and I were at the TARC annual meeting last month. I believe it was last month, wasn't it?
This month.
Well,
This month.
the beginning of this
Begin-
month. Yeah, I keep thinking it's October.
September 7th.
And the Texas Association of Regional Councils celebrated their 50th anniversary at that time. There's an annual meeting in which, different things are discussed, officers are elected and things of that sort. So, but it's an organization that helps especially do a lot of training for our staff. There's a lot of staff training in the different areas that we serve as a council. And, a lot of planning, of course, for next year also went on. But, I just wanted to bring up the fact that they do a good job for us at the state, local, and national levels. Part of our TARC council membership are officers at the federal level. So we have our foot in the door on national legislation. And the legislative update that was presented at this meeting was also very, very helpful. So just a comment.
Thank you. Any other finished or unfinished business?
Just really quick, an update on Debbie. She's in good spirits, recovering. Just wanted to let everybody know. Obviously, she's still going to be out for quite a bit. Recovery takes a long time. We did bring another lady, Miss Lisa Alfaro. She used to be our receptionist, so if her voice sounds familiar, that's her. So, and Angela, we thank her for her assistance that she provided this couple of last 2 months. But she's gonna have to attend to the district, duties now. So Lisa will be taking over temporarily, and so we wish Debbie well, and hopefully she can return soon. We will.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I guess meeting adjourned. It's 12:57 and meeting adjourned.